అనిశం సిద్ధివినాయకం అనిశం సిద్ధివినాయకం అనిశం చింతయామ్యహం సిద్ధివినాయకం అనిశం చింతయామ్యహం ప్రసీదగణనాయకం విశిష్టార్థదాయకం వరసిద్ధివినాయకం అనిశం చింతయామ్యహం ప్రసీదగణనాయకం విశిష్టార్థదాయకం వరసిద్ధివినాయకం అనిశం సిద్ధ యక్ష కిన్నరాదిసేవితం సిద్ధయక్ష కిన్నరాదిసేవితం ప్రసీదయక్ష కిన్నరాదిసేవితం అఖిల జగత్ ప్రసీదయక్ష కిన్నరాదిసేవితం అఖిల జగత్ ప్రసీదమూల పంకజమధ్యస్థం మోదకహస్తం సిద్ధయక్ష కిన్నరాదిసేవితం అఖిల జగత్ ప్రసీదమూల పంకజమధ్యస్థం మోదకహస్తం సిద్ధివినాయకం అనిశం భాద్రపదమాస చతుర్థ్యాం బ్రాహ్మణాదిపూజితం భాద్రపదమాస చతుర్థ్యాం బ్రాహ్మణాదిపూజితం పాశాంకుశధరం ఛత్రచామరపరివిజితం పాశాంకుశధరం ఛత్రచామరపరివిజితం రౌద్రభావరహితం దాసజనహృదయ విరాజితం రౌద్రభావరహితం దాసజనహృదయ విరాజితం రౌహిణేయనుజార్చితం ఈహనావగర్జితం రౌహిణేయానుజార్చితం ఈహనావర్జితం అద్రిరాజసుతాత్మజం అనంతగురుగుహాగ్రజం అద్రిరాజసుతాత్మజం అనంతగురుగుహాగ్రజం పత్రప్రదపదాంభుజం భాసమాన చతుర్భుజం పత్రప్రదపదాంభుజం భాసమాన చతుర్భుజం సిద్ధివినాయకం అనిశం చింతయామ్యహం ప్రసీదగణనాయకం విశిష్టార్థదాయకం వరసిద్ధివినాయకం అనిశం
ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥನೆಯನ್ನು ನಡೆಸ್ಕೊಟ್ಟಂಥ ನಮ್ಮ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಶ್ರೀನಿವಾಸ ಮೂರ್ತಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. ಈಗ ಇಂದಿನ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗಮಿಸಿರುವ ಮುಖ್ಯ ಅತಿಥಿಗಳನ್ನು ಹಾಗೂ ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಸ್ವಾಗತ ಕೋರಲಿರುವರು ನಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರಧಾನ ಕಾರ್ಯದರ್ಶಿಗಳಾದಂಥ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಸೀತಾರಾಮ್ ಸರ್.
I welcome you all for this historic day of Dr. R.D. Nanjaiah's Endowment Memorial Lecture. For this historic occasion, our professor, beloved professor, teacher, scientist, then Commonwealth Veterinary Association past president, secretary general and dean of our college, Dr. S. Abdul Rahman has come. and he will inaugurate this conference. So on behalf of all of you, our association, I will heartily welcome Professor S. Abdul Rahman sir. I also heartily welcome Setiraj on an important topic on this. I welcome you all. I welcome him on behalf of all of us on this occasion, sir. Heartily welcome. President of our association, who is backbone of this association activities, I welcome you heartily, sir. I welcome our treasurer, Dr. C. Rajshekar. In spite of his health issues, he has come and is maintaining. I heartily welcome him, sir. And I heartily welcome Dr. K. Ravi Kumar, Vice President and the man behind the program, successful program of this. I heartily welcome him. I welcome our dynamic secretary, Dr. Ravi Shankar Hegde. On behalf of you all, I heartily welcome, sir. I also heartily welcome Aligaki, Dr. R.D. Nanjaiah's family members have come. Srimati Sharda R.D. Nanjaiah, his son Narsimurthy, and his daughter Anita, and his sister, daughter-in-law has come, and a baby has come. I heartily welcome all of them for this auspicious occasion. Sponsor, I heartily welcome all our sponsors, especially the Vesper, the Shashank and Jaiswal, who have generously contributed for our association. And I also heartily welcome all the donors for their invaluable contribution. We have crossed more century donors. I welcome all the donors on behalf of us heartily. And all the other members, ನಮ್ಮ association members and all office bearers of our association, I heartily welcome for these occasions. Welcome to you all. Thank you.
ಹಾಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಸಂಘದ ಪ್ರಧಾನ ಕಾರ್ಯದರ್ಶಿ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಸೀತಾರಾಮರಿಗೂ ಸಹ ಈ ಒಂದು ಸಭೆಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ಪರವಾಗಿ ನನ್ನ ವೈಯಕ್ತಿಕವಾಗಿ ಹೃತ್ಪೂರ್ವಕ ಸ್ವಾಗತವನ್ನು ಕೋರ್ತೇನೆ. ಕಾಶ್ಮೀರ ಕಣಿವೆಯಲ್ಲಾದಂಥ ದುರ್ಮರಣಕ್ಕೀಡಾದಂಥ ನಮ್ಮ ಎಲ್ಲ ಭಾರತೀಯರಿಗೂ ಹಾಗೂ ಇದುವರೆಗೆ ನಮ್ಮನ್ನಗಲಿರುವ ನಮ್ಮ ಎಲ್ಲ ವೃತ್ತಿ ಬಾಂಧವರಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ನಿಮಿಷ ಸಂತಾಪವನ್ನು ಸೂಚಿಸಬೇಕು ಅಂತೇಳಿ ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರನ್ನೂ ಕೋರ್ತೀನಿ. ದಯಮಾಡಿ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಎದ್ದು ನಿಂತು ಒಂದು ನಿಮಿಷ ಮೌನಾಚರಣೆನ ಆಚರಿಸೋಣ. ಈ ದತ್ತಿ ಸ್ಮಾರಕ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದ ಉದ್ಘಾಟನೆಯನ್ನು ಜ್ಯೋತಿ ಬೆಳೆಸುವ ಮೂಲಕ ಇವತ್ತಿನ ನಮ್ಮ ಮುಖ್ಯ ಅತಿಥಿಗಳಾದ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ರಾಮನ್ ಸರ್ ಅವರು ಹಾಗೂ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಯತಿರಾಜ್ ಹಾಗೂ ನಮ್ಮ ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷರು ಎಲ್ಲ ವೇದಿಕೆ ಮೇಲಿರೋರು ನೆರವೇರಿಸ್ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಕೋರ್ತೇನೆ. ವಿದ್ಯುಕ್ತವಾಗಿ ಉದ್ಘಾಟನೆ ಮಾಡಿದಂಥ ಎಲ್ಲ ವೇದಿಕೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಉಪಸ್ಥಿತರಿರುವ ಎಲ್ಲ ಗಣ್ಯರಿಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಧನ್ಯವಾದವನ್ನು ಅರ್ಪಿಸೋಣ. ಈಗ ನಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಉದ್ದೇಶಿಸಿ ಉದ್ಘಾಟನಾ ಭಾಷಣವನ್ನು ಮಾಡಲಿರುವರು ನಮ್ಮ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಅಬ್ದುಲ್ ರೆಹಮಾನ್ ಸರ್. ಪ್ಲೀಸ್.
Good morning, everyone. It's nice to see all of you, all my friends, my classmates, my elders, my students, and especially Dr. R.D. Nanjaiah's family. Ellargu namaskara. Today, we have gathered here for a very important Dr. R.D. Nanjaiah's Endowment lecture. See, half an hour is not enough to talk about Dr. R.D. Nanjaiah. It will take an eternity because he was the pioneer for establishment of this veterinary profession in the state. And what we are today, what we all have achieved in our own respective fields, we have achieved high positions, high honors. It's all because of him, his vision, which was very important. His vision started not only with the establishment and building of the veterinary college, the hostel, the hospital, the auditorium, etc., but also goes down the line to the establishment and building our Karnataka Veterinary Association building at Malleshwaram. His vision is something which is beyond our understanding. He had the foresight to see the 50 years ahead, which some of us don't have. My relationship with Dr. R.D. Nanjaiah is a very unique one. When I graduated from a pre-university, I had very bad marks. I couldn't get into medical and dental engineering. So my father used to come through Visheshpuram from his MGID office, and at the corner of Visheshpuram there's a road which goes to Dr. R.D. Nanjaiah's house at that time. There used to be a vada seller. He used to sell vadas. And my father used to bring vada from there, and he was, very close to him. So he used to, "Yaak sir, hagidare nimmaga, avanu ಏನು ಓದಲಿಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ, ಅವನು ಮೆಡಿಕಲ್ ಸಿಕ್ಕಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಎಲ್ಲೂ ಸಿಕ್ಕಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಏನು ಮಾಡೋದು ನಾನು ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಸರ್ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸಾಹೇಬರು ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅವ್ರು ವೆಟರ್ನರಿ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಅವರಲ್ಲಿ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ನಾನು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತೀನಿ, ಅವ್ರ ಹತ್ರ ಮಾತಾಡಿ." ಸೊ ದಟ್ vada seller took my father to Dr. R.D. Nanjaiah's house. And my father remembers him. He says, Dr. R.D. Nanjaiah was a personified, he had this foreign robe. Those foreigners, they have a robe, velvet robe. He had a robe on him, and he came and met me. And he said, "Aidu ನೀವು ನಾಳೆ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬನ್ನಿ Serum Institute." At that time, the office was in Serum Institute. ನಾನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. So that was my first association with Dr. R.D. Nanjaiah, and from that time onwards, he has always been my mentor. And one unique feature about him was he never called me as Rahman. He always used to call me Abdul Rahman, Banrili, Abdul Rahman. He used always to prefix by Abdul, which not many people used to do. And my association with Dr. R.D. Nanjaiah became when I was also a student, and then when I joined the college, and then afterwards also when I was the president of the secretary of the Indian Veterinary Association. I felt that Dr. R.D. Nanjaiah should not be confined to the state of Karnataka. I wanted him to be nationally recognized. So at our Calcutta Indian Veterinary Association conference, some of you also attended that conference in the stadium which we had in Calcutta. We took Dr. R.D. Nanjaiah there, and then we honored him with a Lifetime Achievement Award by the Indian Veterinary Association. And one very important thing which I want to tell you. So his air ticket, I had to pay for his air ticket, and I had to go. So I went to his Vayalikaval residence. He was standing in front of the temple. He was renovating the temple in that Vayalikaval road. Then he took me around and he showed me all that. And ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ರಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡೋರೆಲ್ಲ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮುಸ್ಲಿಮ್ಸ್ ಜೈಪುರ್ನಿಂದ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ ನೋಡಿ, ಅವರೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. So he took personal interest in my secretary of the Indian Veterinary Association, and of course with Dr. B.C. Ramakrishna, and we were very close. Then when Dr. Puttanaya and Dr. Chandrasekhar Reddy, and they started this building of the veterinary, purchase of the Malleshwaram Veterinary, Karnataka Veterinary Association, we always used to go together. We saw a site in Queens Road. He said, "Illi bada." So we selected Malleshwaram. So, Dr. Puttanaya and Dr. Chandrasekhar Reddy, they are very much, we should be indebted to them for this association. But why I am telling all these stories is, one person can change the life of so many people. And that person was Dr. R.D. Nanjaiah. And I am very honored today because the organizers have given me this opportunity to share my thoughts and my remembrance to Dr. R.D. Nanjaiah. But for him, we could not have achieved what we are. Another quality of Dr. R.D. Nanjaiah was he has never shouted at anyone. Even as a dean, even as at that time director of instruction, Even if he was angry, he never showed it, his thing. He taught us microbiology, he taught us anatomy. First he started teaching us anatomy because anatomy was now, there were not many people there. Dr. Salam had entered. He taught us anatomy, then he taught us microbiology. And whatever he did, I could see him in his chambers in the veterinary college. He used to be studying the bones before coming to the class to take the class with us. His dedication, not only in his profession, but also in the administration, was something unique. And he had the courage. You see, today we don't, unfortunately, we have given away our profession to bureaucrats and they are taking advantage of it. But Dr. R.D. Nanjaiah, the bureaucrats used to come to him. He never used to go, whether when he was in the director of instruction or he was the director of the institute or the director of animal husbandry. He never went to the bureaucrats. Bureaucrats used to come to him. That was his attitude, that personality. And he was always, he looking at him itself, everyone got impressed. I have never seen Dr. R.D. Nanjaiah without a suit, without a tie. We have never seen him. See, that personified his stature and his vocabulary, his knowledge about the profession. So, as I said, we can talk for a number of hours about his qualities and things, but we can't justify his achievements and his role which he has played as his vision for which we are all indebted today. And what we are now, what we have our college, what we have our association is all because of him. So in my humble way, I would like to pay tribute to my mentor, my beneficiary, my guru, Dr. R.D. Nanjaiah, and may God bless his soul. And I think I thank the family of Dr. R.D. Nanjaiah. They are all very close to me, and we are very honored that they are here today. And with this word, I would like to thank the organizers for considering me worthy of coming here and giving this inaugural address. Thank you very much.
ಪಶುವೈದ್ಯಕೀಯ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರದ ದಿಗ್ಗಜರಂಥ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಆರ್ ಡಿ ನಂಜಯ್ಯನವರ ದತ್ತಿ ಸ್ಮಾರಕದ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಹುಶಃ ಈ ಪಶುವೈದ್ಯ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾರೂ ಕೊಡೋಂಥ ಕೊಡುಗೆಯನ್ನು ಸನ್ಮಾನ್ಯ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ನಂಜಯ್ಯನವರು ಅವರು ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟರು ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನು ನಮ್ಮ ಮುಂದೆ ಒಂದು ಚಿತ್ರಣವನ್ನೇ ಇಟ್ಟರು ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಅಬ್ದುಲ್ ರಹಮಾನ್ ಸರ್. ಅವರ ಒಂದು ಗುರು ಶಿಷ್ಯರ ಸಂಬಂಧ ಮತ್ತು ಈ ಪಶುವೈದ್ಯ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ವೃತ್ತಿಗೆ ಅವರು ಕೊಟ್ಟಂಥ ಹಿರಿಮೆ, ಅವ್ರು ಮೂಡಿಸಂಥ ಛಾಪನ್ನು ನೆನೆಸ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರು. ಆದ್ದರಿಂದ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಹಿಂದೆ ನಾವು ನೋಡದೇ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ನಾವಿದ್ದಾಗಲೂ ಬಹುಶಃ ನಾನು ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಸೇರಾದಾಗಲೂ ಡಾಕ್ಟ್ರು ಆರ್ ಡಿ ನಂಜಯ್ಯನವರು ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಆಫ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಷನ್, ಅವ್ರು ಏನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಅದೇ ಭಾವನೆ ನಾವು ನೋಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾಗಲೇ ಹಿಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಸರಿಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು. ಅಂಥ ಒಂದು ಗೌರವ ಭಾವನೆ, ಅಂಥ ಒಬ್ಬ ದಕ್ಷ ನಿಷ್ಠ ಒಬ್ಬ ಆಡಳಿತಾಧಿಕಾರಿಯಾಗಿದ್ದರು. ಸೊ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ನೆನೆಸ್ಕೊಟ್ಟಂಥ ನಮ್ಮ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಅಬ್ದುಲ್ ರಹಮಾನ್ ಸರ್ಗೆ ತುಂಬ ಹೃದಯದ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು ಸರ್. ಈಗ ನಮ್ಮ ಸ್ಮರಣ ಸಂಚಿಕೆಯ ಬಿಡುಗಡೆ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ, ಸ್ಮರಣ ಸಂಚಿಕೆ ಈ ದಿನ ಬಿಡುಗಡೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂತ ಅದು ಒಂದು ಕನಸಾಗಿತ್ತು. ಇವತ್ತು ಅದನ್ನು ಬಿಡುಗಡೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ದಯಮಾಡಿ ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಮುಖ್ಯ ಅತಿಥಿಗಳಂಥ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸಕರಾದಂಥ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಯತಿರಾಜ್ ಸರ್ ಅವರು ದಯಮಾಡಿ ಬಿಡುಗಡೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂತೇಳಿ ಕೋರ್ತೇನೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ಸ್ಮರಣ ಸಂಚಿಕೆಯನ್ನು ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಯತಿರಾಜ್ ಅವರ ಅಮೃತಾಸ್ತಿಯಿಂದ ಬಿಡುಗಡೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾಯಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ದಯಮಾಡಿ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ತಮ್ಮ ಕರತಾಡದೊಂದಿಗೆ ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಸ್ಮರಣ ಸಂಚಿಕೆ ಬಿಡುಗಡೆ ಮಾಡಿದಂಥ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಯತಿರಾಜ್ ಹಾಗೂ ಇತರೆ ವೇದಿಕೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಉಪಸ್ಥಿತಿರುವ ಗೌರವಾನ್ವಿತರಿಗೆ ತುಂಬ ಹೃದಯದ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. ಈಗ ನಮ್ಮ ಈ ದತ್ತಿ ಸ್ಮಾರಕ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದ ಮೊದಲ ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ, ಇದನ್ನು ನೆರವೇರಿಸಿಕೊಡಲವರು ನಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಚಿರಪರಿಚಿತ ಪಶುವೈದ್ಯ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ತಮ್ಮ ಚಾಪನ್ನು ಮೂಡಿಸಂಥ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಯತಿರಾಜ್ ಸರ್ ಅವರು ನಡೆಸ್ಕೊಡೋರು. ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಸರ್.
ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರಗಳು. ಡಿಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ವಿಶ್ಡ್ ಆಫೀಸ್ ಬೇರರ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ KVA ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದ ಸೀನಿಯರ್ ವೆಟನರಿ ಅಸೋಸಿಯೇಷನ್ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ಲಿ, ಮತ್ತು ನನ್ನ ಗುರುಗಳಾದಂತಹ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ರಹಮಾನ್ ಅವರು, ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಗೋವಿಂದಯ್ಯ ಅವರು, ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಪುಟ್ಟಣ್ಣಯ್ಯ, ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಗೋಪಾಲ್, ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಸುಂದರವದನನ್, ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಆಯೋಜಿಸೋಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾರಣೀಭೂತರಾದಂತಹ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಆರ್ ಡಿ ನಂಜಯ್ಯ ಮನೆಯಿಂದ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಆರ್ ಡಿ ನಂಜಯ್ಯ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ರಾಗಲೇ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ರಹಮಾನ್ ಅವರು. ನಾನು 2 ನಿಮಿಷ ಅಥವಾ ಒಂದು 3 ನಿಮಿಷ ತಗೊಳ್ತೀನಿ ಅವ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ. ನಂತರ ನನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಯಾವುದು ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದುಬಿಡ್ತೇನೆ. ನಾನು ಕಾಲೇಜಿಗೆ ಬಂದ ದಿವಸಗಳಲ್ಲಿ 1973ರಲ್ಲಿ ವೆಟನರಿ ಕಾಲೇಜಿಗೆ ಪದಾರ್ಪಣೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೆ. ಆ ದಿವಸಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಆರ್ ಡಿ ನಂಜಯ್ಯ ಅವರು ಡೀನ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದರು. ನಾವು ಪಾಠ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ನಾವು ಕೇಳಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಆದರೆ ಅವರ ಆಡಳಿತ ಮುಂಚೂಣಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಗಿದ್ದರು ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ದು ಒಂದೇ. ನಾನು ಹಳ್ಳಿ ಸ್ಕೂಲಿಂದ ಬಂದವನು, ಓದಿ ಬಂದಂಥವರು. ಅವರನ್ನು ನೋಡಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ನಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ಅನಿಸಿದ್ದೇನೆಂದರೆ ಅವರ ಸೂಟು, ಅವರ ವೇಷ, ಗತ್ತು, ಗಾಮ್ಯ, ಡಿಪ್ಲೊಮೆಸಿ, ಹೀಗೆ ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ಬೋದು, ಸಾಕಷ್ಟನ್ನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಹೋಗಬಲ್ಲೆ. ಇದೆಲ್ಲವೂ ನಮಗೆ ಅನಿಸಿದ್ದೇನೆಂದರೆ ಈ ಥರ ಪಶುವೈದ್ಯರು ಇರೋಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯನಾ? ಪಶುವೈದ್ಯರನ್ನ ಈ ಥರ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಜನಗಳು ಗುರುತಿಸ್ತಾರಾ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಅನ್ನಿಸ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು. ಆದರೆ ಅದು ನಿಜ ಅಂತ ನಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಿದ್ದು ನಾವು ಮುಂದೆ ಕಾಲೇಜಿನಲ್ಲಿ ವ್ಯಾಸಂಗ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೊರಟಾಗ. ಅಂತಹ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿನ ಈ ನಾಡಿಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಂತಹ ಅವರ ತಂದೆ ತಾಯಿಗಳಿಗೆ, ಅವರ ಮನೆಯವರುಗಳಿಗೆ, ಅವರ ಜೊತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಂತಹ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬರಿಗೂ ಅವ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ನಮಗೆಲ್ಲ. ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಬ್ಬ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗೋದು ಯಾವಾಗ ಅಂದರೆ ಅವ್ರು ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಇರೋವಾಗ ನಾವು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಅಂಥವ್ರನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಇವತ್ತಿನ ದಿವಸ ಅವರ ಹೆಸರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಎಂಡೋಮೆಂಟ್ ಲೆಕ್ಚರ್ ಅಂತ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ. ಅದನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಕೇಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಮನೆಯವರೆಲ್ಲ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಿಮಗೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳನ್ನ ಅರ್ಪಿಸ್ತಾ, ಹಾಗೆಯೇ ಆರ್ ಡಿ ನಂಜಯ್ಯ ಅವರಿಗೆ ನಮಸ್ಕರಿಸ್ತಾ ಮತ್ತು ನನಗೆ ಪಾಠ ಮಾಡಿದಂಥ ಎಲ್ಲ ಗುರುಗಳಿಗೆ ನಮಸ್ಕರಿಸ್ತಾ, ನನ್ನ ಭಾಷಣ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ನನಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಂತಹ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಅರಿವು ಮಾಡಿಕೊಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ಐ ಆಮ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಟಾಕ್ ಟು ಯು. ನನಗೆ ಟಾಪಿಕನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಈ ಥರ ಟಾಪಿಕನ್ನು ನೀವೇ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರು. ಚೇಂಜಿಂಗ್ ಸಿನಾರಿಯೋ ಆಫ್ ವೆಟನರಿ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಇನ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ವಿತ್ ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫಿಕ್ ರೆಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಟು ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಅಂತ ಮಾತಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ. ನಾನು ಮಾತಾಡೋದು ಪವರ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದರೂ ಕೂಡ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಮಾತಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟಪಡ್ತೇನೆ. ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಕನ್ನಡ ಬೇಕಂತ ನನಗೆ ಅನಿಸಿದೆ. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ ನಾನು ಸ್ಕೂಲಿಂದ ಬಂದ ದಿವಸಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಕನ್ನಡ ಮಾಧ್ಯಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದವರು ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ. ಒಂದು ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಹೈಸ್ಕೂಲಿಗೆ ಸೇರಿಕೊಂಡೆ 8ನೇ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಗೆ. ಅವರು ನಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದು, ನಮ್ಮಣ್ಣ ನನ್ನನ್ನು ನೀನು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಓದಬೇಕು, ಹಳ್ಳಿಯಿಂದ ಬಂದಿದೆಯಾ, ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಮ್ಗೆ ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಟ್ರು. ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಮ್ಗೆ ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರು ಕೇಳಿದ್ದು ಏನು, ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು. ಟೇಬಲ್, ಅಟರ್ ದ ಟೇಬಲ್ 15. ಆ ಟೇಬಲ್ ಅಂದರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ದು ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷಲ್ಲಿ ಟೇಬಲ್ ಹೇಳೋದಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಮಗ್ಗಿ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಗೊತ್ತಿತ್ತು, ಟೇಬಲ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಟೇಬಲ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಹತ್ತು ನಿಂತ್ಕೊಂಡೆ. ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೇಕೆ ಹೊಡೆದು ನಕ್ಕಿದ್ರು, ಬೇಜಾರಾಯಿತು, ಇಳಿದೆ. ನಂತರ ದಿವಸಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಂಡೆ ಆಂಗ್ಲ ಭಾಷೆಯಲ್ಲೇ ಇರಬೇಕು, ಆಂಗ್ಲ ಭಾಷೆ ಇಲ್ಲದೇ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಪ್ರಪಂಚ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. ಆಂಗ್ಲ ಭಾಷೆಗೆ ಮಾರು ಹೋದೆ ನಾನು ಕೂಡ. ಆಂಗ್ಲ ಭಾಷೆ, ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತವನ್ನು ಆಂಗ್ಲ ಭಾಷೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೆದು 150 ಅಂಕಗಳಿಗೆ 148 ತೊಗೊಂಡೆ, ಆಂಗ್ಲ ಭಾಷೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೆದು. ಆವಾಗಲೂ ಏನು ಅನ್ನಿಸ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ತುಂಬ ಜನ ನನ್ನನ್ನು ಕನ್ನಡಿಗ ಅಂತ ಗುರ್ಸ್ಲೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಕಾಲೇಜಲ್ಲಿ. ಯತಿರಾಜುಲು ಅಂತ ಕರೆದ್ರು, ಯತಿರಾಜನ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೆದ್ರು. ಆದರೆ ನಾನು ಪಕ್ಕಾ ಕನ್ನಡಿಗ. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂದರೆ ನಾನು ಕನ್ನಡ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಲೆವೆಲಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಿಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೆ. ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ಬೇಜಾರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿಂದ. ಮಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಭಾಷಣಕ್ಕೆ ಕರೆದ್ರು. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಿದರು, ನೀವು ಇವತ್ತು ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದರು. ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ರು ಲೆಕ್ಚರ್ ಮಾತಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ. ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಕೊನೆಗೆ ಹೋದೆ, ಒಂದು ನಿಘಂಟನ್ನು ಕೊಂಡ್ಕೊಂಡೆ ಮಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲಿ. ಅರ್ಧ ಗಂಟೆಗಳ ಕಾಲ ನನ್ನ ಇದ್ದಂಥ ಆಂಗ್ಲ ಭಾಷೆಯ ಪದಗಳಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಕನ್ನಡ ಪದಗಳನ್ನು ಸೇರಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡು, ನನಗೆ ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆ ಬೇಡ ಮಧ್ಯಾಹ್ನ 3 ಗಂಟೆಗೆ ಭಾಷಣ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೊಡಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಮೊದಲನೇದಾಗಿ ಭಾಷಣ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. ಅವತ್ತಿನ ದಿವಸ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡೆ. ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳ್ತಾಯಿದ್ರು, ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಕೇಳಿದೆ, ಯಾಕೆ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷಿಗೆ ನಾವಿಷ್ಟು ಮಾರು ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೀವಿ, ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿದೆ ಅಂಥದ್ದು ಅಂತ. ಪಾಪ ಪುಣ್ಯ ಅಂತ ಬರೀತೀವಿ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ. ಆವಾಗ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಂಡೆ, ಪಾಪ ಪುಣ್ಯ ಇದೆ. ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾಪ ಪುಣ್ಯ ಅಂತೀವಿ, ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಪಾಪ ಪುಣ್ಯ ಅಂತೀವಿ, ಹಿಂದಿದಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾಪ ಪುಣ್ಯ ಅಂತೀವಿ, ತೆಲುಗುನಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾಪಮು ಪುಣ್ಯಮು ಅಂತೀವಿ, ತಮಿಳು ಭಾಷೆಯಲ್ಲೂ ಪಾಪ ಪುಣ್ಯ ಅಂತೀವಿ, ಹಿಂದಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾಪ ಅವ್ರ ಪುಣ್ಯ ಅಂತೀವಿ. ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷಲ್ಲಿ ಬಾರಪ್ಪ ನೋಡೋಣ ಏನು ಪಾಪ ಪುಣ್ಯ. ಪಾಪ ಸಿನ್, ಪುಣ್ಯ ಪದ ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆಪ್ಪ ಹುಡುಕಿ ನಾನು ಸಾಕಾದೆ. ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ನಿಘಂಟುಗಳನ್ನು ನೋಡಿದೆ, ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದವ್ರಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ. ಆವಾಗ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯಿತು ಇದು ಪುಣ್ಯವಿಲ್ಲದ ಭಾಷೆ, ಬರೀ ಪಾಪದ ಭಾಷೆ. ಸಿನ್ ಅಂತ ಒಂದೇ ಇರೋದು, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಪುಣ್ಯವೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಆ ಪುಣ್ಯವಿಲ್ಲದ ಭಾಷೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾಕಿರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ನಂತರ ದಿನಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಕೂಡ ಆಂಗ್ಲ ಭಾಷೆ ವ್ಯಾಮೋಹವನ್ನು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಕನ್ನಡಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದೆ. ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿರುವಂಥದ್ದು ಬೇಕಾದಷ್ಟು ನಮಗಿದೆ. ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತಾಡಿದರೆ ಜನ ನಮಗೆ ಗಣನೆ ಕೊಡಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋದು ತಪ್ಪು, ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಮಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಆಂಗ್ಲ ಭಾಷೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತು ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟಪಡ್ತೇನೆ. ನಾವು ಹೋಗೋದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ ಚೇಂಜಿಂಗ್ ಸಿನಾರಿಯೋ, ವೆನ್ ವಿ ಟಾಕ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದಿಸ್, ನಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಸಿನಾರಿಯೋ ಹೇಗೆ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳುವಾಗ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಮಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಐ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ವಾಂಟೆಡ್ ಟು ಗೋ ಇನ್ ಟು ದ ಹಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಆಫ್ ದ ವೆಟನರಿ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಷನ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಕಂಟ್ರಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದ ಗ್ಲೋಬ್ ಟುಡೇ. Domestication of the dogs, buffaloes, elephants, fowls occurred in India between 6000 to 4500 BC. Remember this. That means the veterinary profession existed in India maybe 6000 years ago. That's what I just wanted to talk about it. Then we get back to the Rigvedic period, which said 1000 to 500 to 1000 BC, and the cow Kamadhenu was adored and considered the best wealth of mankind. Probably today we all appreciate this to talk about is why a cow is more important than anything else. And we all today know very well that cow is not for just milk alone, and the industry has grown tremendously. You can sell dung today and have business. You can sell urine and make business today. And I'm sure all of you are reading how much is the dung business today. Dry dung business in Rajasthan has been set up, and it is in the order of anything between 4,000 to 5,000 crores. Urine is being sold at per liter 1,500 to 2,000 rupees for the American market today. So we said that so many thousands of years ago, and what is being talked by them today as this is something new for us. Atharva Veda provides all these herbal medicines, and there were people who talked about it, and this is called Haya Ayurveda. Haya meaning, you know very well about the horses, and Shalihotra was the first known veterinarian of the world, and is an expert in horse husbandry and medicine, and he was called as the Shalihotra. Shalihotra lived in the Rigvedic period, and he was the first veterinarian by anybody. Then sage Palya, he made a book on the elephant, and he called it as Gaja Ayurveda, meaning elephants. Again goes back to many thousands of years. During Mahabharata period, all of us know Nakula and Sahadeva wrote books on that. I've gone through, it is clearly mentioned in Telugu, Nakula Sahadeva Pashuvaidya Shastra Mudir's a book. Even today that copies are available. If you go back to that, that means the veterinary profession existed during Mahabharata period on a documentation. Unfortunately, where are those records? I'll come to that little later. The descriptions available in a journal called I Indica, a book authored by Megasthenes, the ambassador of the king Macedonia in the court of Chandragupta Maurya, mentions about all these. Then the Vedic age, lot of information is available on keeping of animals, and they all said animal is supposed to be the wealth of the country. The Aryans preferred cows, and they also kept dogs as guardians, and they are the guard dogs for them. Sheep were kept for the wool, goats for the milk, skin from the dead animals was used for the industry, and in the epic period, surgical procedures were all started, and this was both for medical and human as well. And then the Krishna's era came. We all know when it came to Krishna's era, he had the cows, and the worship of the cows next to the Deepavali festival, which normally people used to worship Lord Indra, changed over to worshipping of cows. That means we were practicing animal husbandry practices during the Mahabharata period. Mauryan age was the best age. This was prior to probably 320 to 232 years ago. The earliest Buddhist text, which we call Suttanipata, describes the cattle as the giver of food, beauty and happiness. Ananda, Vannada and Sukhada. These are the things what a cow can give to us, and animal husbandry became one. And killing of cow was considered as a deadly sin during that period. Then comes the Ashoka period. I think this is one of the wonderful period anybody can talk of. Today we talk of Ashoka pillar everywhere, Ashoka stambhas everywhere. Ashoka period was the best period, and he considered keeping of animals was very important, and he created a total revolution in animal husbandry. If at all anything has happened in India very specific to animal husbandry, it was the Ashoka period, and he created history by two ways of that. According to the version of the scholars, Dhanvantaris were very well there during 600 BC, and this signifies, and later it was translated to Arabic, all other languages, and the history goes like that. Indian medical treatises like all the Samhitas, Chakra Samhita, Sushruta Samhita, Harita Samhita, they all contain chapters related to animals. There were physicians, etc., all of them, but all go back to the reference, that same Shalihotra. And Shalihotra undoubtedly appears to be the first veterinarian of the prehistoric period, and that's why everybody called them as Shalihotris. Recorded history reveals that from ancient times, healers of man and animals have tried both to preserve and pass on their accumulated knowledge. In all the early societies that developed a veterinary art, training was more by apprenticeship and not by a degree program. And this is what the apprenticeship was more important than a regular curricular language. These are two things of parallels what I wanted to talk about it. Some time ago in 2005, I went into the celebration of the veterinary profession, which they call 250 years, and it was done in France, Lyon. Lyon, why you talk about is, Lyon was in the year of 1712 to 1779. And when he died, he was 67 years. Claude Bourla, who is considered as the father of the veterinary profession, he was not a veterinarian, he was an educationist, but he founded the first veterinary college in Lyon, as per the record. And the record said at that time, 250 years. But look at the parallel. Ashok Samrat, or the Samrat Ashoka, had established everything in the 233 BC, but the world doesn't accept that. If you go by that, it should have been thousands of years, not 250 years, as in 2005. For that, it was a global summit, and I attended that conference as a dean of the college, and that college has got changed later, but hats off to this man, equally has worked very well. We should reciprocate and appreciate that. King Ashoka made a different way. This is the period. Why I like this Ashoka period is, King Ashoka was a great emperor, but he had the confidence in both animal and man. One person who had the equality to the veterinary profession, to the medical, was King Ashoka. All these stambas, what he erected, was the symbolization of two of them, one on the medical side and the other on the veterinary side. And he said this is the hospital for both, and they were all surrounded by big compound, and within the compound, herbs were grown as medicines. And whenever the herbs were not there, he said, go out of the country, bring it back and put it, and there were shelters for large animals to look after the animals. That's why Ashoka is considered as a great personality. Shalihotra, the first known veterinarian of the world, expert in horse husbandry and medicine, and composed the Haya Ayurveda, and the sage Palakavaya Gaja Ayurveda, and Mahabharata was the 1000 period. Why again I am putting this is, this was not the Claude Bourla who was the father, this was the way, but you know very well, we are Indians and what they are. Unless these kinds of records are documented way, you will not get a way to say that this existed much earlier than Claude Bourla. This is very evident. This is a book by Schwabe, 1978, who says King Ashoka, Schwabe is not an Indian author, he is a Western author. He said King Ashoka lived during 300 BC and erected the first veterinary hospital of the world. Is a document put onto that. This signifies that I am born in a country where the veterinary profession was started, and I think that's the reason why we are all here. Thanks to every one of you. Thanks to Dr. R.D. Nanjaiah, who had made a similar structure of a veterinary college hospital today, and the veterinary college, which is a symbolic in the whole world, I can say, because I was there as a dean of that college for 9.5 years. I know how people have said what this veterinary college is. This veterinary college symbolizes beyond any of the other things, and probably that's the reason why we are all here today. And this was the first veterinary hospital which was established in India, in Bombay. Look at the kind of animal that you have there. Similarly, look at the kind of animal, the cattle, the horse, and you see so many of the animals. This was the gate for the hospital. This was called Hospital for Animals in Bombay. This was maintained by the Parsi family much earlier to veterinary colleges being started, much earlier to the veterinary colleges. From here we started. This was the first veterinary college which was started in 1762 in Lyon, and later this has become a big college. This has been modified. This is the old structure of the building of the original college which has got started. But that college doesn't remain now. It has been totally westernized and it has become a European school now, and you cannot see this building. This building is only photo available today. Going back on the way, this is something which I don't want to again bore you. These are all in China, Mesopotamia, all others which also existed during the same Indian period in China. Everywhere it occurred. Now coming back to the development of the medical education in Europe, and then in the human side, then all of these, the ancient Greece also copied this, and for all practical purposes, King Ashoka is the period for every one of us. Veterinarians were called as Salihotria after the famous horse medicine authority Salihotra. They were not called as veterinary doctors. He was not called a doctor. He was called a Salihotra. Britishers made the nomenclature later, and we also got the name as doctor. Otherwise, a veterinarian was called as Salihotra, and the people who preached that was called as Salihotria. Eventually, this 1712, what we talked about the college, and let's come back to the Indian scenario where it started. The formal veterinary education in India began in 1862. Now we leave all the epic age, Rigveda, Mahabharata period. Now we come back to the typical our aging, the British period. This is where 1862, the first veterinary school was established in Pune. The first civil veterinary school was started in the Babugar, Hapur in Uttar Pradesh in 1877. Again, these are all apprentice courses, and this is not a college. The veterinary college first was started in Lahore, now which is in Pakistan, was in 1882. Later now, the laboratory was started in 1885. And typically first college, this laboratory was later shifted to Mukteshwar. Even that was also not a college. The first college typically now what we have is the Bombay Veterinary College, which was founded in 1886. Later you had colleges in all other places, like it followed up, Calcutta, Madras, Bangalore, etc., etc. All started later, and that is a part of the education. Now we all talk of English when I said that. Everything we want to follow British and West, that is the way we talk of. Look at this. This is not again a virginal building. This was modified. This is the Lloyd Veterinary Medical Center, which was started in 1903 in US. Where were they when we talked about veterinary profession? This is the official record of a veterinary college or a veterinary institution in America, but today we get dictated by everything by many others, though we have been the beginners of theirs. The Madras Veterinary College took lead and subsequently started all these. Let me not bore you about all the ages. Let me come back. The curriculum what was followed much earlier to the Veterinary Council of India, which started in 1984, were the syllabus as recommended by the FAO and the WHO, which was being followed all over the globe in the same scenario like what was followed in India. From 1984 onwards, the VCI came into existence, and then onwards, the things have changed. There are now some corrections, because you know very well that each time when we look at, I have my friends who all from the colleges who all know, they will argue and say they are not right. That's why myself I put a question mark. As in today, there are 56 veterinary colleges recognized by the VCI, 6 private colleges, and many provisionally selected colleges. Now this is for a country which has got say 1.3 billion population, which we all know United States of America has got about 26 veterinary colleges, whereas we have more than 60 veterinary colleges. We have many diploma colleges, many, very many Probably Rajasthan has got the highest, every district has got a diploma school or a college. We do have Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka. Karnataka also has about 3 or 4 diploma schools now. Hassan also one, yes. What is there with all this? There's a significant disparity in the universal recognition of the veterinary qualification between the major blocks of the developed world. Graduates from the developing countries are not widely recognized. I always remember Dr. Rahman sir in this. We all know, you come out of a college, you are a BVSc degree, you have a BVSc degree. We all had a BVSc degree. Britishers even today have a BVSc degree, but I cannot go back and practice in UK. I cannot go and straight away start practice in US. Why? We all say we all came from the same roots. We follow WHO guidelines, we follow FAO guidelines. VCI came in 1984. They said you can reciprocally do the practice of that. And again, very restricted. If I want to go and practice in Asia, anywhere, my degree is not valid. Degree for practice. I can get a job somewhere. Why I say about this is, though we talk about all these, now look at the kind of standard that we have to have. Lucky at least now after the VCI, across the country, all the colleges impart the same degree. Why we need to take this is, the society is very great for us. We should appreciate this. Everybody thinks, every graduate, alphabet A to Z, including mine as Y, all come from a recognized veterinary school. That means everybody is equal. Everybody has the same 5.5 year degree. I might have 9, somebody else has got a 6, somebody else got a 7, makes no difference. 6 is the minimum pass. That means you have the minimum standards of veterinary education. No cow, no dog asked me whether you have a 9.3 OGPA or a 6 OGPA. As long as I get my BVC certificate, I am eligible to practice anywhere in the country today. But the same thing doesn't hold good to practice anywhere in the globe. This is what we need to create, and that is what the changing scenario is. There is a societal expectation that veterinarians everywhere will have graduated at the same standard and have the same basis of competencies. These competencies must enable our profession to deliver the wide range of expertise and services required today and in the foreseeable future. Government may not do anything into that, but in the practice, there is a changed scenario. Again, I always talk of Dr. Rahman being an international figure, and I am being one of his staunch follower of that because he has given me wide exposure to the international way. I keep talking about him. He said, you have a degree. From that degree, ask for what you want. Go out of the country, get a certificate done, say yourself. Somebody said, recently I gave a lecture on critical analyst, or I called as an intensive care unit. In an intensive care unit, he should be an expert in that area. Who is that expert? He is called a criticalist. A large animal practitioner is called a pediatrician. A small animal practitioner is called a doctor. But I don't have a degree as a criticalist. But if I have to work in ICU, I should be a certified criticalist. Who is a certified criticalist? Who passes through an exam conducted by a school, and there I get a diplomate of criticalist. I don't get it. That means I cannot establish a critical center? I cannot work in ICU? No. There are ways for that. You can enter into the advanced centers, go through a course with your basic degree, and change your practice scenario. Now let me come back to the practice scenario. That's what the crux I wanted to talk about at. Veterinary practice in India was largely restricted to the government institution. This is what I saw. What I'm talking is after my graduation. Please pardon me, a lot of seniors being there, and I may be wrong in my interpretation, wrong in my concept of talking. 1978, when I came out of the college, we had only one thing, that I need to go back to the Department of Animal Husbandry and get my job. Who will give me a job? The government gives me a job. Do I need a competence? No. If I show a degree certificate is enough. That is the way the practice started. Fantastic for us. But today the scenario is not that. With that you cannot practice. That was the kind of education that you had, that was okay. But today OE has described some 1,000 procedures as a day one requirement. And in that, if you take the modern graduate, they don't fit in anywhere into that. but that BVAC was enough to do everything in many ways of that. By and large, the cattle practice was the main thing everybody talked about. It small animal practice was not a practice at all, but thanks to the professionals of the poultry industry, Dr. Mohan, his father, everybody sitting here, and lot many, Dr. Puttanaya, poultry industry was totally a different way, and it gave a little kind of different life to the veterinary practitioners, and probably they employed huge number of veterinarians. They did not look for the master degree in a poultry or a PhD in poultry, but they trained them in various national and international institutions and created them as experts, and they started the industry. And we all know where we are today in the poultry industry. I'm sure there are people who have come from the poultry industry, there are people who are in as a director, deputy director, or in charge of the institutions. The poultry industry is much, much bigger than the animal husbandry sector today. And if we talk of the agriculture, same amount being generated in the country from the poultry world. And I think there are more than many millions of people who have had a job in this poultry industry. And the backbone of all that, again, back to the scenario, is the vet. And maybe one vet would have controlled 1 million workers, and they have given a job to them. And this is where we are lacking, and that is the changed scenario for us. Coming back to the poultry industry has grown by leaps and bounds. This is primarily because of the private sector and also supported by the government sector. Currently, poultry industry has employed thousands of veterinarians and has given job opportunity for millions of people, which I'm sure everybody will accept. Dairy sector, on the contrary, went into probably a milk federation phenomena or animal husbandry. But what kind of change we are seeing is maybe in terms of a milk production, in terms of a meat production, whatever it is, we would have seen a change. But in terms of a reality, in terms of specialization in the animal health sector in dairy is definitely not up to the mark. Sorry to say that, please don't feel bad about it, because the competence is very less, hence we don't. I can say I'm seeing all the kinds of changes in the veterinary hospitals, in the department, anywhere in the country, not alone in Karnataka, that you are seeing ultrasonography machines, a pregnancy diagnosis kit, etc., etc. In the past 2 decades, when I was a student, I never saw an ultrasonography machine. My student days, we never had a diagnostic kit to diagnose many diseases, even in large animal. Today, scenario still remain the same in many ways. There is little change in the large animal, not a great change. On the contrary, in the equine industry, something different. You want anything, there is a special provision to import anything that you want, but the same provision doesn't exist for a large animal. Why? We have to fight, in the meaning we need to put in an effort for that. We are very satisfied, and that's why that changed scenario doesn't occur. Last year, incidentally, we had a program in Shimoga where we invited practitioners from Australia, and we had a hands-on workshop, and wherein they said these, one was the male and the female, both of them came, and they were teaching us on the large animal practice of the modern ways of that. And if we have to translate that into the reality, is very difficult, because the government doesn't support very well. If at all you have to go on your own, but there are no training programs which will send it to the other developed part of the country and learn the new techniques on that. These are all really necessary, but with the struggle, after this workshop we conducted through an association called Indian Veterinarian Association, which I'm still one of the president of that, and now lot many people said we will demonstrate, and 6 months ago, there were practitioners from Mangalore side where they said, we will do a thoracosynthesis, we will do a pericardiocentesis in a large animal, and they demonstrated that. They have learned on their own. It is not anybody who made a change for them, and definitely they are doing very well on the large animal sector. Large animal practice has been still restricted to government institutions. Diagnosis, you still have to depend on laboratories. No private laboratory. Nobody can establish a good private lab and earn money. On the contrary, same scenario doesn't exist in the other ways of that. You come back to the companion animal practice, in which I'm more acquainted. Probably lot many people say that I'm a small animal practitioner than a large animal practitioner. 1978, when I graduated, I was a large animal practitioner like anybody. I used to run around Bangalore. My models, for many of them, those days I knew some senior practitioners. One was Dr. Mohan, he was in poultry. There's one more Dr. Mohan who was a large animal practitioner in Jayanagar. He used to be making a name. Dr. M. Rashekar used to move around Bangalore in a red Java. He was was my spirit for large animal practice. I said, I'll also do that. I started doing it. 2 years I did. Later I felt it doesn't fetch me even my petrol money. So it was not. And there were houses when we did go and do the surgeries, and he would say, sir, 6 ತಿಂಗಳು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮನೆಗೆ ಹಾಲು ಹಾಕ್ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ, 6 ತಿಂಗಳು ಗೊಬ್ಬರ ಹಾಕ್ತೀನಿ, ಇನ್ನು 3 ತಿಂಗಳು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸೊಸೆಗೆಲ್ಲ ಸಗಣಿ ಹಾಕ್ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಗಂಜಲ ಹಾಕ್ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಐ ಡೂ ಫಾರ್ ಮೈ family? I was in the midst of so many people. I am born in the midst of a very big family. I have 9 sisters and 6 brothers. And when all the things were happened, my father said, enough of your education. Now take care of your education, become an end. ನಿನ್ನ ಕೆಲಸ ಇವಾಗ, ನಿನ್ನನ್ನು ಬೆಳೆಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಅಣ್ಣಂದಿರು, ಅವ್ರ ಮಕ್ಕಳನ್ನು ಓದಿಸೋದು, ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಪರಿಪಾಲನೆ ಮಾಡೋದು, ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಜೀವನ ಕೊಡೋದು ನಿನ್ನ ಧ್ಯೇಯ ಆಗಬೇಕು, ನಾಟ್ ಯುವರ್ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೇರ್ ಐ ಸೆಡ್ ಐ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಅರ್ನ್ ಮೈ ಮನಿ, ಮೇಕ್ ಎ ಲಿವಿಂಗ್ ಫಾರ್ ಮೈ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೆನ್ ಐ ಸೆಡ್ ಲಾರ್ಜ್ ಅನಿಮಲ್ ಐ ಮೇಡ್ ಎ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್, ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಅನಿಮಲ್ ಐ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಓವರ್ ಟು ಫ್ರಮ್ ಪ್ಯಾಷನ್ to make a little more better living. This is definitely selfish, you might say, but I really struggled for 2.5 years. I couldn't make up because I used to buy every medicine. I was a practitioner. As a private man, it is very difficult to survive, and that was really not at all possible on that. And now, during 90s, the private sector in companion animal practice opened up. Private clinics surfaced, part-time facility, quite a lot of them would practice in the evening. Morning, I'm in a hospital setup. Evening, I would do this. And there was a way. Lot many people, even in the college, said, how can you practice? So I made a small group within myself, all the practitioners, and we said, yes, we will practice. I don't want to name my teachers. I don't want to name my bosses. They said, you cannot practice. Then I said, sir, please show me a rule where it says I cannot practice. They had no way, because I started teaching jurisprudence at that time. It said, without affecting your routine work, you can practice. It never mentioned about the money. I said, I'm doing practice free in the evenings. I sit in my house and do it. I don't take any money. Probably today, all of you have seen, 5 days ago, there has been a Supreme Court order which said, if you are practicing from your house, it is not considered as business. What we said 40 years ago, today Supreme Court says that. Why? If we have to make a living in a decent way, why not do it? You are not stealing money, you are not stealing drugs from a hospital setup. You are giving service to the society, and they respect you, and if they give the money, that's enough for us. You don't have to ask more money on that. And probably you can restrict your hours for practice and can go on. During 90s, many clinics started. Many of them started, small animal practitioners established themselves as service providers. Subsequently, the awareness spread across all major cities and towns. Veterinarian took small animal practice as a full-time job. Goes on. Many veterinary associations got established, and they played a really pivotal role in the development of the profession. Associations are very important. Not many people might say, what I get, like Senior Veterinary Association. Not many people say, what I get by that. You don't have to get anything. ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ನೋಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಇವತ್ತು, ಇಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಜೊತೆ ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿದ್ದೀವಿ, ನಿಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಎಷ್ಟು ನಮ್ಮ ದೊಡ್ಡವ್ರನ್ನ ನೋಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ, ಅವ್ರ ಮುಂದೆ ಓಡಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಎಷ್ಟು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಜನ ಇಲ್ಲಿ, ಎಷ್ಟು ವಯಸ್ಸು 80ರಲ್ಲಿವರು ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಾವುಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಬಂದು ನಮಗನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ, ನಾನು ಇನ್ನೂ ಓಡಾಡಬೇಕಪ್ಪ, ನನ್ನ ತಲೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಇನ್ನೂ ನನಗೆ ಧ್ಯೇಯ ಇದೆ, ಇನ್ನೂ ಒಂದಷ್ಟು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಆಗಬೇಕು. 2017 I retired. I was traveling in Europe. Then I said, ರಿಟೈರ್ ಆಗಾಯಿತು, ಸಾಕು ಇನ್ನು ಬೇಡ. And they leave the papers and go, which Dr. Rahman sir knows very well. They read the paper. After the reading is done, they leave on the table and go because somebody else can read. All of a sudden I saw, there was a paper, I thought, let me read that. That paper caption was, Life After 60. Life After 60 was the paper. I took that and read number of times again and again. It said, the best age of production is between 60 and 70. Followed by 70 and 80, third is 50 and 60. I said, I fit into 60 and 70, and I came back and I started increasing my practice profile. I started many of them, which I don't want to because they all become self-boosting. Let me leave there, and I think that's very important for us. Clinical scenario changed. Clinic, we all said clinic. What is the clinic? We used to talk of garage practice. What is the garage practice? Garage practice is one You blame. This is called garage practice. You blame. Somebody has done something, you blame it. Like when you go to the garage, the scooter doesn't start, he will say, same, that's called garage practice. The second garage practice technique is, you open up your garage, take the car and scooter out, practice for some time, close. This is second category of garage practice. The clinics now got transformed into polyclinic. Polyclinic became a hospital. Hospital became a specialty hospital. Specialty hospital became now super specialty hospital, and now super specialty hospitals have become independent special hospitals. Now you have an exclusive cancer research hospital in Bombay. You have half a dozen eye hospital exclusive in the country, employing 15 to 20 ophthalmologists, veterinary ophthalmologists, and that is the kind of professional practice that you are seeing today. And these people have employed in the range of, earlier we used to feel, I am alone, I am everything, I can do. But that has gone. What is the way? Lots of practice management books. They said, don't work like that. You are a fool. You get burnt out. You start your day at 6 o'clock, end at 11 o'clock, go home, your back pain, and you go home, there is nobody to lift you because you live with your wife. She is much, much older or younger. Older in the sense, in terms of physique, and nobody is there to lift you. So don't burn out like that. Employ people. Employ people. That's the reason it started. Now people who are experts said, I'll sit and employ more people, generate more of them, and probably the job seeking went on to job providing today. And small animal practice has become like that. I'm very happy about it. That's one of the reasons why I still spend a lot of time in my practice setup. In the early days, professional support was through colleges, professional bodies like Indian Veterinary Association at national level, state associations. From 1980s, support was from the industry partner, kennel clubs, NGOs. We should respect everybody because they did their role. They made the visibility for the profession. What we want today is visibility for the profession. If there is no visibility, we cannot improve. Currently, there are specific associations in the country which support all these, and they get the training done, they get you the advanced skills being done, and lot many of them through the associations it can be done. We get part into that and have a 7-day advanced courses. People come from out of the country and they are allowed officially and conduct programs in the small animal sector. And they are all very competent into that. I'll quickly go through how things have changed into. You find there were days when people would say, I don't get patients. Today you go to any small animal clinic or a hospital, you will find people waiting in the queue in the hospitals to see the veterinarian. And this is the way the setups have changed. This is again, I've just put some example. Look at this. This is even a government hospital. I'm not showing that everything is a private hospital. This is one of the government hospital in Bangalore, in Bangalore itself. Look at the way people have a faith in people that they come to you today. This is a registration counter where people have everything onto that. These were all not seen in the early days. These are the veterinary hospital where government set up again, which I'm showing. The visibility is changing. Again, government hospital, these are all the advanced or the new ways. Everybody is into ultrasonography, etc., etc. ICU patients being taken care like that. Merchandise is one another area. Everybody is very happy about it. Early days, people were not practicing merchandise, and now everybody thinks of merchandise as a commodity. These are the grooming centers. Today there are many grooming centers. There are grooming courses going on. You have a 10-day course, 1-month course, 3-month course, and 9-month course. And neighboring countries offer courses on these, and one can make good living out of this. And these are the newer areas of machineries which people want. The whole lot of gadgets being found in everybody. And all these machines you will find in every clinic or a hospital. Digital x-rays, endoscopies, snap diagnostic tests. All these probably everybody has. And today probably we talk of intradermal testing, which probably in humans we talk of, they used to say in allergy, in asthma, people get tested. Look at this. This is the number of allergens that are being injected, and you have a positive control and a negative control. You inject all these allergens and identify to what a dog is allergic to, and then you have a regimen of treatment to be done. These are all the changing scenarios, and dermatology has branched out like that. Organization professional bodies which have shaped the companion animal practice are the various subject matter specialist association, like lots of them, Indian Society, etc., etc. This Federation of Small Animal Practitioners Association of India is called as FACPI. It's a conglomeration of all the practicing associations in India. Why this has to be done was when we said we want to get tied up with global organizations like WSAVA, World Small Animal Veterinary Association, and Federation of Small Animal Asian Veterinary Association. They said, don't come as a state association, come as a federation. So all the associations in the country, there are about 18 to 20, formed a federation, and we have a representation in the global meets. We do get discounts on our international conferences. We have been called as a developing country, and officially both FSAVA and WASAVA have a different pricing in the seminars for these countries. This is a good development and a good change. Lot many practitioners participate in that. Pet Practitioners Association of Karnataka, to which I proudly belong and say, and previously I was the president of this, we are very strong, and today we are about 400 plus practitioners and one of the best association in the country today. Some of my colleagues are all sitting here. We do on a monthly basis programs, we do a lot of programs. In fact, today one batch is in Sri Lanka. We have an international program going in Sri Lanka. 135 practitioners are going to be there. I am going to travel on Sunday. I said I cannot travel today because I have a commitment that I have made, a promise that I am going to deliver a lecture in SVA, because I am also a senior and I cannot leave that and go. And last year we had an international program in Thailand, and again 140 veterinarians from Karnataka were taken, and we got them the training onto that. It's very, very strong. Equally, Karnataka Veterinary Association, and we floated another organization called National Veterinary Foundation, for which I am one of the advisory member. We are 7 of us. I am a board member. We conduct 2 national programs every year, and the meet comprises of 600 to 800 veterinarians across the globe, across the country, and we bring in experts from the globe, plus half of them Indian speakers. So we are made equated, and it's all going on very well. Similarly, WASAVA, FACPI, and regulatory support from VCI and Indian Veterinary Association are very easily happening. Activities of this: continuing education program, conduct of international workshops, imparting advanced training in all these areas today. And probably there's nothing like we say that it's not available to anyone like that. Educational tours to various countries, short-term courses, and hand-on exposure in various techniques is what we conduct on these. Currently there are around, look at this. This is a fascinating figure to me. I have seen the practice from 1978, and I keep talking to people, proudly say that I have been practicing for 45 plus years. And maybe that becomes a big way. Even in my clinic, it's very good for me. Some people ask me whether this animal, this drug works or not. I tell them I've been using for 45 years. Whether it works or not, they believe me, they trust me. So when the number is more, equally it's good. There's 4,500 to 5 small animal practitioners in the country, that is India. This number is more than the total practitioners of our neighboring countries. Imagine where we are today, and they all, what do? They do individual practice, they work in institution, and when I say clinics, today there are different ways of that. You could establish a clinic by investing about 1 lakh, and there is a standard prototype what people have done, and that is anything between 3 crores to 6 crores. The highest range is up to 10 crores. You might ask me how many are there. I can give a big list, I cannot count. I can give you a directory when people have invested anything between 6 to 10 crores on these hospitals. Who runs the clinic? Now, individual veterinarian, group of vets with a proprietor vet, breeders employing a vet. As I said, there are so many breeders in Bangalore. They started their own hospital. They've employed a veterinarian for themselves. As long as you have a veterinarian, you cannot question them. Similarly, NGOs, pet shops, and now for the past 1 decade, we really got the onslaught of what the competence is. In veterinary profession, if there has been a competition, it was not there earlier, which has started 1 decade ago. Why did it start? Because of this group of people. You have the Tata Trust Small Animal Hospital in Bombay, Crown Vet across the country. They have many. All of them have already, their prototypes are 10 crore prototype, and they employ about 50 veterinarians, and they run across Sancho Animal Hospital, Vetic Clinics Pan India, all across the major cities. They employ Max Pets, CGS Hospital in Gurgaon. They employ huge number of veterinarians. They send them for advanced training and bring them back. So the practitioners who do not have an advanced training will lag behind this. Whether this is good or bad is a different question. Lots of debates going on that. Entrepreneurs, non-veterinarians, they are employing vets and starting the clinics as well. A system of education, excuse me, please, another 5 minutes I'll end up, okay? I can make out. If you say enough, I'll stop here. Otherwise, give me just 5 minutes. Can I continue, please? Yeah, okay, right. Okay, a system of education has to be introduced in the Indian veterinary education pattern in the form of a short-term training program like North American Licensing Examination. This is called as NAVLE, which many of us wouldn't have been knowing, including probably we travel across, but we don't talk about it. NAVLE is a basic of them. If anybody has to go and practice in US, you have to clear this NAVLE exam. If some graduate coming from, say, neighboring country of ours and say, he is from UK, he is wonderful, India will accept, whereas America will not accept. If I am going from here to UK, they will not accept because this is the minimum standard exam we need to clear and we need to do that. If you don't do that, you get a lot of infiltration over a period. Let me come to the end of that. At present, unlike many countries in India, there is no veterinary caring facility. This has been a big debate for the past 2 decades. I have participated in the debate. I said no, yes, contradicted, everything like that. Neighboring countries, India, Nepal, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, nowhere, none of these countries have any of the nursing courses. New Zealand has, Australia has, whole of Europe has, America has, and probably everybody said paraveterinarian. We aimed only towards the livestock inspector. They are not nursing courses. We need to deviate from this. Anyway, that's a serious topic. Let me not talk too much on that. A qualified veterinarian has to be supported suitably by the trained veterinary nursing personnel. In Europe, what happened is, pre-university, 12th standard stream, both of them enter to the education system. Those who clear with a higher mark will go for the veterinary degree program. Those who do not get into the nursing program. So they are trained equally very well. Otherwise, we have to do everything here. A separate course in this regard is necessary. Veterinary nursing in small animals is presently provided by the untrained persons who are referred to as paraveterinarians, which is not correct, I would say. The most important point that we all need today is the social security for the veterinarians. This is very, very zero, I would say. The social security for a veterinarian is meager, unlike the medical profession. You might say veterinary council come to the picture, council come to the picture, associations come to the picture, but typically not right because the education system is such. I open a clinic at 11 o'clock in the midnight, 10 people come with a dog saying an emergency, 10 owners. As the examination is going on of the animal, you find 4 people. By the time the treatment is done, you have 2. And by the time billing is done, there's only 1 guy. And this guy will say, I'm an attender, I have no purse, I have no wallet, I have no money. Where is the security for this? This is number 1. The second kind of security is, evenings when we work in the hospitals, anywhere, government or private, where is the question of security? Animal dies. The veterinarian is not a god. He cannot save everybody. They have no patience to listen to anything when something bad is happening. Animal is dead. Everybody pounces on the vet. Where is the security for him? Except his own attenders. I think they'll be waiting for an opportunity. Let all of them pounce upon him. This is the best opportunity. I can also join hands and clap with them. This is the kind of setup that we have. So reason is, then the last point what I want to talk about is the financial support for the veterinary entrepreneurs. Everywhere they say that. 1 decade ago, I went into a bank and said, I need a financial support for an establishment to be started. It clearly says, a practitioner is allowed for a overdraft facility of 40 lakhs. Take it from me, I am taking it from the book. You have a facility of 40 lakhs for an overdraft, right? He said, okay, just let me take this. If I take this, what is the way? The interpretation is, for the portion of the money you utilize, you are charged 11% interest. Fine, fantastic. Even if you take the loan, invest elsewhere, you get 12%, I get 1% more. Papers were processed. Then, finally, the manager writes, veterinary practitioner not allowed. Then your medical profession is allowed. PCPNDT rule, if I have to have the equipment, I have to take a permission from you, from the health authority. The rule applies there. This rule doesn't apply. Why I say this is the reality. This has to change, and such kind of changes are very necessary for us. Probably days to come, and I have gone through certain literature which says, in the next 20 years, which is the best professional course that is going to happen is not because you are all vets, I am a veterinarian. The records and the literature says it is going to be the veterinary profession. Because you will see 11% growth in the veterinary profession, whereas the medical profession will give you 4.5% growth and engineering will give you 3.5% growth. Veterinary profession is one which will give 11.5% growth. That's why veterinary profession is going to be the best. And thanks to all of you for listening, and thanks to the organizers for giving me an opportunity, and thanks to all my teachers for the patience of listening to me, and thanks to the whole R.D. Nanjaiah family for having given such a great person. And I always used to think saying that, and whether some people talk of, and when I go out also people say, sir, please don't come without wearing a jacket, please don't come without wearing a tie. And similarly, if Dr. Rahman sir walks anywhere, people will say he's not Dr. Rahman because he's not wearing a tie. So we become like that, and sometimes it is very good. Thanks sir, thanks to Dr. RNS sir. Thank you all, thank you for your patience and time please.
ಇದು ನಮ್ಮ ದತ್ತಿ ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದ ಮೊದಲ ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸ. ಅವರಿಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ಪರವಾಗಿಯೂ ನನ್ನ ವೈಯಕ್ತಿಕವಾಗಿ ತುಂಬ ಹೃದಯದ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳನ್ನು ಅರ್ಪಿಸ್ತೇನೆ. ಇದು ಒಂದು ಅವಿಸ್ಮರಣೀಯ ದಿನ ಅಂದರೆ ತಪ್ಪಾಗಲಾರ್ದು. ನಮ್ಮ ಪಶುವೈದ್ಯ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರಕ್ಕೆ ನೀಡಿದಂಥ ಕೊಡುಗೆ ಹೇಳಲಾರ್ದಂಥದ್ದು. ಇಂಥ ಒಂದು ಸಮಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಚಪ್ಪಾಳೆಯೊಂದಿಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಚಪ್ಪಾಳೆಯೊಂದಿಗೆ ಅಭಿನಂದನೆಯನ್ನು ಸಲ್ಲಿಸಬೇಕು. ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸ ನೀಡಿದಂಥ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಯತಿರಾಜ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಸನ್ಮಾನ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ನಮ್ಮ ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷರು ನೆರವೇರಿಸ್ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಚಪ್ಪಾಳೆ. ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು ಸರ್, ಹಾಗೂ ಅಭಿನಂದನೆಗಳು. ದತ್ತಿ ಸ್ಮಾರಕಕ್ಕೆ ದಾನ ನೀಡಿದಂಥ ದಾನಿಗಳ ಒಂದು ಸನ್ಮಾನ್ಯ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ.
ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಬಲವಂತ್ ಜೋಶಿ ಸರ್, Balwan Joshi sir, please come here. Balwan Joshi, M.R. Chaudhary has come. I sent him personal invitation to all the donors. Then V.K. Sundarvadana sir, Dr. K. Mohan, Dr. R.N. Srinivas Gowda, sir, Srinivas Gowda sir. ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಫುಲ್ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ರು. ದೆನ್ HR ಮಾಧವರಾವ್ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಬನ್ನಿ ಸರ್ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್. ಆಯ್ತಲ್ಲ? ಆಯ್ತು ಹೌದು. ಹಾಂ ಆರಾಗಿದ್ದಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್. ಆಫೀಸ್ ಬೇರೆ ಸಾಕ್ರಪ್ಪ ನೀವು ಓಕೆ. ಹಾಂ
ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ವೇದಿಕೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಸನ್ಮಾನ ಸ್ವೀಕರಿಸಲಿರುವರು ಒಬ್ಬೊಬ್ಬರಾಗಿ ಹೇಳಿ ಹೆಸರು ಹೇಳಿ.
ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಮೋಹನ್, ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಬಲವಂತ್ ಜೋಶಿ, ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಯತಿರಾಜ್, ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ವಿ ಕೆ ಸುಂದರವದನನ್, ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ RNS ಗೌಡ, ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ HR ಮಾಧವರಾವ್. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸರ್ ಫಾರ್ accepting your felicitation. Next to Dr. S. Abdul Rahman sir as a guest, he is as donor. Then Dr. M.M. Kailas, Dr. M.M. Kailas sir, please come. Dr. A.R.S. Murthy sir. Dr. Hora Nagaraj sir, Hora Nagaraj. Dr. P.V. Srinivasan ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರಾ? ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ. ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ NV ಬೆಳವಡಿ, ಬೆಳವಡಿ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಗಾನ್ ಅಬ್ರಾಡ್, ಈಸ್ ಇನ್ ಆಸ್ಟ್ರೇಲಿಯಾ, ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ನಮಗೆ ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಕಳಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ MG ಗೋವಿಂದಯ್ಯ ಸರ್. ದೆನ್ ಎ ಬಸವರಾಜ್ ರೆಡ್ಡಿ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಬಳ್ಳಾರಿ ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ. ದೆನ್ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ನಾಗರಾಜ್ ಶೆಟ್ಟಿ, ಕೆ ನಾಗರಾಜ್ ಶೆಟ್ಟಿ ಸರ್. ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಕೆ ನಾಗರಾಜ್ ಶೆಟ್ಟಿ ಸರ್. ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ MM ಕೈಲಾಸ್, ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ S. ಅಬ್ದುಲ್ ರಹಮಾನ್, ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ವಿ ಕೆ ಸುಂದರವದನನ್, ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ MG ಗೋವಿಂದಯ್ಯ, ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಕೆ ನಾಗರಾಜ್ ಶೆಟ್ಟಿ.
ತಪ್ಪಾಳೆ ಬರಲಿ, ಜೋರಾಗಿ ತಪ್ಪಾಳೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಯಾಕೆ ಏನಾಯಿತು?
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸರ್ ಫಾರ್ ರಿಸೀವಿಂಗ್ ಅವರ್ ಫೆಲಿಸಿಟೇಷನ್. ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಕೆ ರವಿಕುಮಾರ್, ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಸೀತಾರಾಮ್ ಜಿ ಪಂಪಾಪತಿ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ನಾರಾಯಣ್ ಪ್ರತಾಪ್ ಸರ್. ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ R.V. ರಾಮಮೋಹನ್, ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಕಮ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಟು ರಿಸೀವ್ ದಿ ಹಾನರ್ ಆಫ್ ಹಿಸ್ ಸನ್ ಇನ್ ಲಾ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಪ್ರತಾಪ್, ನಾರಾಯಣ್ ಪ್ರತಾಪ್. ರಾಮಮೋಹನ್ ಸರ್. ಇದೆ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಅದು ಆಯಿತು. ನಾರಾಯಣ್ ಪ್ರತಾಪ್ ಮೇಲೆ S. ಶಶಿಕುಮಾರ್ ಬಂದಿಲ್ವಾ? ಪಂಪಾಪತಿ ಬಂದ್ರ. ದೆನ್ SR ಭಟ್, ಜಿ ಪ್ರಕಾಶ್ ರೆಡ್ಡಿ, ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ GN ಧನಂಜಯ ರೆಡ್ಡಿ, SR ಭಟ್ ಬನ್ನಿ ಸರ್. ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ KG ನಾಗರಾಜ್, ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಕಮ್. ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ KG ನಾಗರಾಜ್, ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ C. ರಾಜಶೇಖರ್, ಆಯ್ತಲ್ಲ. ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ SR ಭಟ್, ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ರಾಮಮೋಹನ್, ನಾರಾಯಣ್ ಪ್ರತಾಪ್ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಕೆ ರವಿಕುಮಾರ್, ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ GN ಧನಂಜಯ ರೆಡ್ಡಿ, ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ KG ನಾಗರಾಜ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ C. ರಾಜಶೇಖರ್. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸರ್.
ಈ ವೇದಿಕೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕಿರುವಂಥ ಆಸನಲ್ಲಿ ದಯಮಾಡಿ ಆಸೀನರಾಗಬೇಕು.
ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ DM ದಾಸ್, ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ MG ಉಮೇಂದರ್ ರೆಡ್ಡಿ, ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ HR ನಂಜುಂಡಪ್ಪ. ರವಿಕುಮಾರ್ ಆಯ್ತಲ್ಲ ನಿಮ್ಮದು? ರವಿಕುಮಾರ್ ಆದರೆ ಸೀತಾರಾಮ್ ನಂದೇ ಇದೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತೀನಿ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಜಿ ಪಂಪಾಪತಿ, DM ದಾಸ್, ಶ್ರೀಕಂಠ ಅನ್ನೋರು ಇದ್ದರು, ಈಸ್ ನೋ ಮೋರ್. ಅವ್ರ ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲಿ ಮೆಂಬರ್ಸ್ ಯಾರು ಕಳಿಸಿದ್ದೆ, ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಕಾಣ್ತದೆ. ಪ್ರಕಾಶ್ ರೆಡ್ಡಿ ಆಗಲೇ ಹೇಳಿದೆ. ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ G. ಪ್ರಕಾಶ್ ರೆಡ್ಡಿ ಬಂದಿಲ್ವಾ? ಪ್ರಕಾಶ್ ರೆಡ್ಡಿ ಇದ್ದಾರಾ? ಜನ್ನೇಗೌಡ ಸರ್, ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ರು ಇದೆಯಾ? ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬರು ಪ್ರಕಾಶ್ ರೆಡ್ಡಿ ಬಂದಿಲ್ವಾ? ಶಶಿಕುಮಾರ್ ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಆಯ್ತು ಪ್ರಕಾಶ್ ರೆಡ್ಡಿ ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ಸೀಕರಣೆಲ್ಲ ಚೆನ್ನೈಗೌಡ ಸರ್ ಆಯಿತು. ವಿ ಎನ್ ರಾಮಕೃಷ್ಣ ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ನಂದೇ ಇದೆ ಸೀತಾರಾಮ್. ದಿವಾಕರ್ ಬರೋಕ್ಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಹೇಳಿ ಕಳಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ಇಶ್ಯೂ ಅವರು. ಏನು ವಿ ಎನ್ ರಾಮಕೃಷ್ಣ ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ, ಇಲ್ಲ. ದಿವಾಕರ್ ಬರೋಕ್ಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಕಣ್ಣಾಪ್ ಶೆಟ್ಟಿ ಇಸ್ ದೇರ್, ಕಣ್ಣಾಪ್ ಶೆಟ್ಟಿ, ಜಿ ಎಮ್ ಕಣ್ಣಾಪ್ ಶೆಟ್ಟಿ ಇಲ್ವಾ? ಹಂಗಾರೆ ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬರು ಜೋಶಿ, ವಿ ಎಸ್ ಜೋಶಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ರ್, ಅವರು ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ, ಬರೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರು. ಬಿ ಹನುಮಂತಪ್ಪ, ಎಮ್ ಎಸ್ ವಸಂತ್ ಶೆಟ್ಟಿ, ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಎಮ್ ಎನ್ ದೀಕ್ಷಿತ್ ಈಸ್ ಇನ್ ಅಮೇರಿಕಾ, ಈ ಕುಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಕಮ್. ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಬಿ ಎಸ್ ರಾಜೇಂದ್ರ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಬನ್ನಿ. ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಆರ್ ಎಂ ಗೌಡ, ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಬಿ ಎಚ್ ರಮೇಶ್, ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಸಿ ಎಸ್ ರಾಮಚಂದ್ರ, ಎಮ್ ಎಸ್ ವಸಂತ್ ಶೆಟ್ಟಿ, ಬಿ ಎಸ್ ರಾಜೇಂದ್ರ, ಆರ್ ಎಂ ಗೌಡ, ಬಿ ಎಚ್ ರಮೇಶ್, ಸಿ ಎಸ್ ರಾಮಚಂದ್ರ, ಬಿ ಎನ್ ಕುಮಾರ್ ಅಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ನೋಡಿದೆ, ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಕಮ್. ಬಿ ಎನ್ ಕುಮಾರ್, ಸಿ ಎಲ್ ವಿಜಯ್ ಕುಮಾರ್ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿ? ಕೆ ರವಿ, ಕೆ ಎಮ್ ಎಫ್ನವರು, ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಕೆ ರವಿ. ಈಗ ಸನ್ಮಾನ ಸ್ವೀಕರಿಸುತ್ತವರು ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಎಚ್ ಎಲ್ ಕೃಷ್ಣಮೂರ್ತಿ, ಡಿ ಆರ್ ಗೌಡ, ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಕೆ ಪಿ ಶಿವಶಂಕರ್, ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಕೆ ಶ್ರೀನಿವಾಸನ್, ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಆರ್ ಲೋಕೇಶ್ ಮತ್ತು ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಎಂ ಶಂಕರ್ ನಾರಾಯಣಪ್ಪ. ಈಗ ಸನ್ಮಾನ ಸ್ವೀಕರಿಸುತ್ತಿರುವರು ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಎ ಜಿ ಕುಲಕರ್ಣಿ, ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಬಿ ಎಸ್ ಜಯರಾಮ್, ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಕೆ ಜೆ ರಾಜಗೋಪಾಲ್, ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಆರ್ ಶ್ರೀನಿವಾಸ ರೆಡ್ಡಿ, ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಆರ್ ಲೋಕೇಶ್, ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಗಿರೀಶ್ ಕುಮಾರ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಜಿ ಶ್ರೀನಿವಾಸ ಮೂರ್ತಿ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಪ್ರಕಾಶ್ ಜೋಶಿ, ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಜಿ ತಿಪ್ಪಾರೆಡ್ಡಿ.
ಪ್ರಕಾಶ್ ಜೋಶಿ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಬರಬೇಕು. ತಿಪ್ಪಾರೆಡ್ಡಿ ಹೇಳಿ. ಪ್ರಕಾಶ್ ಜೋಶಿ, ತಿಪ್ಪಾರೆಡ್ಡಿ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್
ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಗಂಗಾಧರ್ ಪಾಟೀಲ್ ಈಸ್ ಇನ್ ಅಮೇರಿಕಾ, ಬೋಸ್ಟನ್, ಬಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಆನ್ 28th. ಈ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಬೈ 1-2 minutes, ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ 2 days. ಆದಿಶೇಷ, ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಆದಿಶೇಷ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿದ್ದೀರಿ? ಬನ್ನಿ ಸರ್. ಇನ್ನಿಬ್ಬರ ಮೂವರು ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಏನಪ್ಪ? ಹಲೋ ಉಮೇಂದ್ರ ರೆಡ್ಡಿ. ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಶಾಕೋ ಅಂತಣಿ ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ. ಸರ್ ಎಮ್ ಇ ಶ್ರೀನಿವಾಸ ಮೂರ್ತಿ, ಶ್ರೀರಾಮ್ ರೆಡ್ಡಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಗಾಯಕ್ವಾಡ್ ಸರ್. ಹಾಂ, ಮೂರೇ ಇಷ್ಟೇ. ಹಾಂ. ಸೊ ಕಣ್ಣಪ್ಪ ಶೆಟ್ಟಿ ಬರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಇಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಡಿ ನೀವು ಒಂದು ಮಾತು ಹೇಳಪ್ಪ, ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಎಫ್ ಯು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಎಸ್ ಬಿ ರವಿಕುಮಾರ್ 1-2 minutes ಗಿವ್ ಯುವರ್ ದಿಸ್ ನೀವು ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಡಿ. ಎಸ್ ಬಿ ರವಿಕುಮಾರ್ ಬೇಗ ಎಸ್ ಬಿ ರವಿಕುಮಾರ್ ಪಶುವೈದ್ಯ ಸಾಹಿತ್ಯ ಲೋಕದ ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷ, 1-2 ಮಾತು ಹೇಳಬೇಕಂತೆ, ಬೇಗ. Dr. Gangadhar Patil is in America. He has asked Karnataka Shetty to receive on his behalf, and he will.